and then Leviathan at the end. So something called Macaroni.
I think the Sun is still very active as a producer.
Well, Aurelio.
I was seeing some. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's producing something this year, so yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him. Okay, so they...
I don't know why we got on that.
I don't know. Well, it's to do with the film, why not? So yeah, they make it through the circular doors, they get suited up, and then Peter Weller's like, I gotta stay here and face off with the creature, so he sends Williams and Ernie Hudson out in their suits, and they go, after Williams strips down, and then he stays back, fights the creature, doesn't do a great job.
No.
Not doing... Because it's a huge thing with loads of tentacles and claws, and he's just a guy. But he manages to get into a suit and knock the thing out, so that when he goes down... There's this big circular platform that they go down, and it's got a... Well, the creature's head kind of lolls out of it, and he manages to decapitate the head, or slice part of it off, and then you get this blood splash all over his suit face, which is great. And then he's immediately underwater, so it gets washed off. So that's cool. So you think, it's dead. Moving on. Wonderful. Gets out. Goes up to the surface. Decompresses. Suit breaks apart in pieces, kind of like a space shuttle going up. Get to the surface. And helicopters coming to come get him. Everyone's fine. But then there's sharks.
Then there's sharks.
The sharks.
I wrote shark cameo.
Yeah, it's not just the water that makes it deep sea adjacent. There's also a bunch of sharks at the end that do nothing. They just they swim up.
They bump into them a little bit.
They bump into them and then swim away. And you think, why are they swimming away? Oh, it's because the creature's still alive and it's going to come up and it's going to kill Ernie Hudson. Fine. It's a shame. He made it to the surface, but that's it. And then helicopter comes, picks up Peter Weller and Williams. I don't know why throughout this it's been Peter Weller, actor name, Williams, character name, but Amanda Pays, less well known, I think. I keep forgetting her name.
Right.
So they make it back to this oil rig where Ms. Martin...
Oil rig. That's the word. I was blanking on the word rig earlier for some reason. My God.
Well, we made it now. I'll edit it back in. So they make it there. Miss Martin's there to greet them. She's so good. You made it. Wonderful. And then as we're watching that, I said to my wife, it'd be great if you just punch her in the face. And then you punch her in the face. So... but it's a wonderful walk-by punch. Because Peter Weller's, he's got his arm around Amanda Pays, and they do not break stride. It doesn't look like the arm around her is modified in any way. It's just punch in the face, carry on going. And I don't think that's possible. I think he would have had to separate from Amanda Pays at some point to prevent her from getting punched as well, or having some kind of a collateral damage from that.
Maybe it's the adrenaline. I don't know.
Maybe.
He's just able to pull that off. I mean, at least she came down there to say hi, you know what I mean?
Oh, she's trying to cover it up. I think she's down there to say, I'm glad you survived. How much is it going to cost for you to be silent? And it's going to at least cost a punch in the face. We do not condone the hitting of women on this podcast, or indeed the hitting of anyone. I'm fully against violence, but this is a film. So
we can't skip over the line that is up there with "Smile, you son of a bitch." Say motherfucker. Say and the way he delivers that line, that is the one story that I wanted to tell about watching this last year. I recorded that and sent it on a group text to some friends because I just thought and it's just so random if you have no idea what movie Leviathan is. For RoboCop Peter Weller to be in throwing a flare? What was it?
It's a flare. The creature screams at him. He's like, say mother.
And I do want to point out that IMDb incorrectly has the line down as "say hi, mother."
Well, I wrote down "say bye."
Oh,
so.
I don't know if I had... I mean, say mother would make sense because he's throwing it in his mouth.
Say hi. Bye. Say hi doesn't make sense.
Say hi doesn't make any sense. Say bye does. Say does. But say hi, mother doesn't make any sense. Maybe he was throwing a cell phone.
His past 2
minutes. Maybe he was throwing a phone at him or something. That would make sense.
Can you hear me now?
And then the only other thing about that part is I wanted to point out is there is the jauntiest, funnest music that starts playing really, I guess, right after the monster dies. Just this jaunty, totally out of place for this movie.
Hang on, I'm just gonna
Music.
cue it up so that, to have the audio playing, so that the listeners can decide whether they think it's say or say bye.
Let's get out of here.
Okay, it's definitely R. There is not a doubt in my mind that he's saying say R. And then I've got the music playing there. It's like the end. It's like Jurassic Park score.
Right.
It's like it's the jaunty Jurassic Park score. I think it's at the end of the film.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost identical. So that makes me very happy. But yeah, it is without a doubt say R, and I have no idea why I wrote down say bye or what fool wrote say hi. I applaud the people that put the quotes into IMDb. They're doing the Lord's work, but this person did it wrong. So
this is going to be my new mission, is to get this fixed. I mean, it's not even that great of a line, so we've got to at least have that.
It's a wonderful line. You take that back.
Say mother.
But it's actually it takes out Ernie Hudson so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It appears and Ernie Hudson's gone, and then
Right,
because Amanda Pays is being like loaded onto a helicopter that lands on the water. Pretty cool. I've not seen one of those before. And she's like, it's got Jones. And then people turn around and Jones is dead. He's gone. And he just throws in the flare. Off he goes. It's a very quick ending.
This creature would 100% not be really dead, by the way. I don't think. Like,
yeah, I was thinking, like, what happens to if fish eat the debris?
Yeah, exactly. Or it could I'm sure it could just regenerate or something.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally saw it twice get chopped into a smaller bit, and that just
grew into a whole new one.
Exactly. So it doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
Yeah, this is the end of humanity that we've watched. There is no Leviathan 2 because we did not survive. No one was around to make it.
I mean, they'd have to make the bird people to fight the aqua people, essentially.
Yeah,
I'd see that.
I would absolutely see that. Yeah.
In the words of the RoboCop film, in honor of Peter Weller, I'd buy that for $1.
I was explaining this to a friend at work, saying like, what it was is it's RoboCop but alien underwater, and he just thought it was RoboCop, not Peter Weller, but the character RoboCop. And I was like, that
would be great.
That's a better film. I want that. And then we were looking at like, what's RoboCop made out of? It's like titanium with a Kevlar coating. He'd survive underwater. That's fine. He's not going to rust. That's where our minds go. The logistics of this. Let's start making it. Let's go. So, anything else you want to talk about Leviathan? Any other thoughts?
I think we covered it all. I mean, I do want to hear these Deep Blue Sea adjacent comparisons.
I have a list. I forgot. We barely talked about Daniel Stern and how delighted I was to see his name crop up in the credits.
He is vile. Like he is disgusting. Like everything he does and says. Yeah. Because
he's just, there's two women on board, and he's just lecherous to both of them all the time, not subtle about it in the slightest. Williams is clearly in some kind of a relationship with Beck, with Peter Weller, but he just doesn't care, and he's just all the time leering and awful. And as soon as he was doing any of that, we were like, "Yep, you're going to die first, and it's going to be horrible." And it thankfully it was. So.
This is why I was like racking my brain, like, why did I specifically write that he's vile? He spits on the dry erase board at one point to erase something, and I just thought that was disgusting and really unnecessary. Just hawks a loogie on it and wipes it. I think it was like I don't know. It would be funny if it was like a 0 days since accident sort of thing, but. I think he was updating like how many days they had left or something.
Yes.
But anyway,
at one point it gets taken down to 1, but they don't correct the plural, so it says 1 days to go for the rest of the film, and I found that infuriating.
Yeah. Another reason.
It's there. It's only for 1 day, but just you've already wiped off the 2. Right, a little less. Just get rid of that 2, please, for the sake of me. But no, they left it up there.
Yeah, he's very antagonistic towards DeJesus.
Yeah, I think they're all glad he died. I think.
Yeah, yeah. His speech about like his speech about seeing somebody implode on one of his previous missions or whatever, that was not very nice to DeJesus.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he's a nice guy. Can I go out on a limb
No.
and say Daniel Stern's character is not nice. Buzz Six Pack Harris, or Parrish
Buzz.
even. Yeah. With a little Home
Two
Alone
funny
nod.
names, Buzz and Six Pack. Buzz is already like a nickname, and then he has Six Pack.
Yeah. But I did like how his all the wetsuits, not wetsuits, but the big clunky deep sea diving suits where all had their like surnames on them, and his said Six Pack on it. So that's not like a nickname he accrued whilst he was down there. That's his official company name. Then again, apparently DeJesus isn't his name or nickname. His name is Tony Rodero, and DeJesus is his nickname, according to IMDb. So.
Well, IMDb got the line wrong. So
there we go. Who can say? Okay, so yes, Deep Blue Sea adjacent things. This is a list that I made going through the film that I have not read since then. So I cannot remember anything on it. I'm just going to read through it, and if it's all wrong, then it's all wrong. So some of this is going to be like really tangential, really vague. So starting off with, there's a small group of people working out at sea in an underwater lab. Deep Blue Sea adjacent. Yep. One of the characters has a fish tank underwater. They have that in Deep. I think Janice has a fish tank in her room. Just the logic of having a fish tank underwater. I love it. It's great. That the crew has one random British lady. Williams is British. She also is one of the last three. So there's a bitter old guy, which in this one is Hector Elizondo, and is Stellan Skarsgård in Deep Blue Sea. Daniel Stern has a men's magazine, has a porn mag. LL Cool J finds one. There's big wheel doors, which we haven't even seen. Loads of doors with wheels on them, which is in every film with an underwater lab's going to have an underwater door. Don't care. Always going to make a point of it. There's an incoming hurricane preventing them from leaving, and there's an incoming storm which traps them at Aquatica. The random British lady strips down to her underwear in the shower.
Yep, that was one of mine.
Had to have that one. This film features the mutation of human DNA. Deep Blue Sea has the mutation of shark brains. Tenuous. At one point, the creatures are fended off with electronic wires. Electricity, as happens in Deep Blue Sea, in the stripping sequence. There's a scene where they're running through steam and dripping water. That happens in Deep Blue Sea a few times. The scene when Williams falls through the grate towards the end, it reminded me of, and Beck's reaching down to try and grab her. The framing of it reminded me of Carter trying to reach down and grab Janice off the ladder. Witness the base crumble. Like when after Sam Jackson dies and Scoggins goes into his like mind palace, and he can't move, and then Carter's like, what's going to happen? And he details how everything's going to break and fall apart. We see that here. We see the whole base falling apart because the pressure's gone. Which I wrote down as witness base crumble, like Scoggs describes. So good. There's the scene where they're ascending from a depth to the surface, as in Deep Blue Sea, and they explode the big creature at the end, and sharks. Yep, sharks.
Kind of shark wrangling too, a little bit, I think.
Would you say?
Well, I mean, does Peter Weller? Maybe I'm more thinking of. I think he like grabs her and pulls her out of the way or something. But But does someone like deflect a shark at one point? I don't know.
I think I'll allow it. And of course, there's a helicopter. Got to include the helicopter. But the helicopter does not explode in this film, so we could not have Will Slater on to talk about it. It just couldn't happen.
No.
But something else I'd like to do is work out how deep and blue these films are, because I am a crazy person with nothing better to do. Actually, I have many other better things to do, but it's become a thing at this point. So, Robert, Deep Blue Sea is approximately 47.5 feet deep and 31% blue. Do you reckon Leviathan is on average deeper and or bluer than Deep Blue Sea?
I don't think bluer, no.
But do you think it's deeper?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. See, when we did Aquaman last week, Aquaman worked out about minus 10,000 feet deep on average. So I thought that's going to be the most we ever do.